On the record, in the matter of Michael and Nancy Spatore versus Andrew Banner, 25-00159, council appearance.
Your Honor, good afternoon. Sam Dua here on behalf of plaintiff.
Sir, can you unmute and state your name for the record?
I'm Andrew Banner. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah. My name's Andrew Banner. B-A-N-N-E-R.
Thank you. Okay, where is the other party? Okay, Andrew Banner. Let's see. This is a land contract forfeiture. Am I understanding that there's been a consent judgment?
Yes, Your Honor. Consent judgment was sent to my file probably very recently, within the last hour or so. It is signed by both parties via DocuSign, and I can go over the terms if it pleases the court.
Please. Thank you.
Thank you. Your Honor, proposed consent judgment in box 2 is marked plaintiff has a right to possession. Box 3, there is now due to plaintiff $1,085.21, and that is also the same total. Box 5A is marked less than 50% of the purchase price has been paid, and box 6 has the legal description of both properties. Box 7 gives the 90-day redemption period to the defendant to pay the $1,085.21. However, 7A and 7B are also marked, which provides that the defendant must also provide proof of insurance naming plaintiff as an additional insured and pay the delinquent property taxes to Ingham County for the 2024 property taxes. Again, it has been signed by both parties and it's been submitted to my file for your review.
Thank you. Mr. Banner, is what Mr. Dua stated on the record complete and accurate as to your understanding as to how you want to proceed on this case?
Yes, ma'am.
So you understand, sir, that you have the right in this matter to proceed to a hearing and the right to demand a jury trial.
Yes, ma'am.
You want to give up those rights, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
You also have the right in this matter to be represented by an attorney. You've appeared without counsel, and that's you waiving your right to counsel, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and you've given Mr. Dua permission to sign the consent judgment on your behalf?
Yes, I did. We were having problems with the DocuSign.
Okay, sounds good. So you have 3 business days from today's date. If once you leave here, you realize you misunderstood the rights that you waived, you can return to the court and request to have this agreement set aside. We'll set it for a hearing, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Any additional matters for the record, counsel?
Nothing from plaintiff, Your Honor.
Thank you. You're all set.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you, Mr. Banner.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The second case, unfortunately, I suggested to them earlier that they go talk. He said there was no resolution, but they just went out to talk now. The second case.
Well, why is?
Speaks Spanish. She's playing.
Oh, okay, sounds good. Okay, on the record, in Highlands Cooperative versus Jeanette Dugan and Morgan Mooser, 25-01304.
They both step outside.
What's your name?
My name is Jeanette Miller. I'm the property manager.
You're the property manager?
Yes.
Okay, where are the parties? Because it's
I can
41 minutes after they should have been ready. This is file number 25-01304, appearance for the record.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. My name is Edward Mall, MAHLP 27115.
Your name, sir?
I'm Morgan Musser.
Today was the date and the time that was scheduled for a hearing. Did you all resolve this matter?
No, we have not been able to resolve, Your Honor.
Okay. Are you ready to proceed to hearing at this time?
I think so. We were arguing about the numbers out there in the hallway, but
Do you need more time to talk about the numbers?
1 minute's not being helpful.
Okay, I'll call the case again.
Okay.
On the record in the matter of Colonial Place versus Beatrice Johnson, 25-01305, appearance, please.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Norman Woody appearing on behalf of the plaintiff Colonial Place.
What's your name, ma'am?
Beatrice Johnson.
Okay, today was the date scheduled for hearing, and this is for non-payment of rent. My understanding is that there's a conditional dismissal,
That's correct, Your Honor. I'd be happy to put the terms on the record.
please.
All right, this time there's rent owing in the amount of $3,185 through the end of April 2025. Court costs in this matter are $159.75. Total amounts retained $3,344.75. Paragraph 3 of the conditional dismissal is marked and states as follows. Defendant will make payments of $650 every 2 weeks commencing April 11th, 2025, with payments being applied first to current month's lease charges and then to the arrearage in paragraph 2 until the balance is paid in full. We discussed that if she made those payments, the case would be dismissed, but if she didn't, we'd have the right to come back and get a judgment without further notice or hearing and also get an order of eviction. We discussed that partial payment wouldn't prevent us from getting that order of eviction. We went over her rights under NCR 4.201, after which she signed the agreement by my approach.
Thank you. Ms. Johnson, is what Mr. Whitty said complete and accurate as to your understanding of how you want to proceed on this?
Yes.
Okay, so you have the right in this matter to proceed to a trial. You could have demanded a jury trial. Did you understand that right?
Yes.
And you want to give that right up? You want to
Yes.
waive it? Okay. You also have the right to be represented by an attorney during this eviction proceeding. You want to waive that right as well?
Say that one more time.
You have the right to be represented by an attorney.
Oh, yes, waive that as
You
well.
want to waive that as well? Okay. Okay, so the agreement is that you'll pay past due rent plus court costs $3,344.75 for a time period through April 30th, 2025, that you'll make payments of $650 every 2 weeks commencing April 11th, with payments being applied first to your current month's leads and charges, and then to the arrearage. And it says paragraph 2 until the balance is paid in full, correct?
That's correct.
Okay, and then partial performance will not satisfy this. You understand that?
Yes, I
So if
do.
you don't comply completely with this section here of your agreement, Mr. Whitty, on behalf of his client, can request judgment to be entered against you. You will not get notice of a new court date. You understand that?
Yes, I do.
You have 3 business days from today's date. If once you leave here, you realize you misunderstood any of the rights that you've given up here today, you can return to the court, request to have that set aside, and explain how you misunderstood your rights, okay? Do you have any questions for the court?
No.
Any additional matters for the record?
Nothing further, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll get you a copy of that in just a moment.
Okay,
Thank you. Your
thank
Thank
you.
you.
Honor.
Is Pacific Flax versus Alexis Holly here?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, that's file number 25-00846.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Donald Lisinski on behalf of plaintiff.
Okay, what's your name? The date scheduled for a hearing, and this is for non-payment of rent. Did you guys resolve this?
Yes, Your Honor, we resolved it via conditional dismissal. We've agreed to convert this from a non-payment of rent to a termination, and we've agreed to, the defendants agreed to return possession on or before April 25th with boxes 4B and 7 check, and I did explain her rights to her underneath 4.201J, Your Honor.
Okay, so, did you have the paperwork completed?
Unfortunately, I did not bring any conditional dismissals with me, Your Honor. Afterwards, I was gonna fill it out and then.
Well, there should have been some printed up there because I requested that happen. Okay. Did you leave some conditional dismissals up there or judgments for them? For the conditional dismissals. Did you leave some up there?
No, ma'am. I
And then
thought
what,
it was
then there
some-
wouldn't be none there. We'll print some. Print stack every Wednesday, traditional dismissals and judgments, right, just in case they need them.
Okay,
And so we'll get that paperwork executed. Is what the attorney said accurate as to how you want to proceed on this matter? Okay, you understand the matter is going to be dismissed with the conditions that you vacate as stated on the record, correct? You understand that you have the right to have an attorney represent you today? You want to waive that right? You also have the right to be, to proceed to trial. You can have demanded a jury trial. You understand that? You want to waive your right to trial? Is anyone threatening you to waive these rights? Okay, we'll get you the paperwork to sign and complete. You have 3 business days from the date that you sign, which is today, to return to the court. If after you leave here, you realize that you misunderstood the rights that you've given up to enter into this agreement, you can return to the court and request to have it set aside, okay? We'll get you the paperwork in just a moment. Any additional matters for the record, counsel?
Not at this time, no.
Thank you. If you, just let me know when you're done and I can get the signatures. The other ones are done. So I need an interpreter. So I was trying to find my security. and something. Oh, boy. This, the first case this morning, was it already a reset?
yeah,
No, I looked, my notes said it, wait, my note said the defendant failed to appear. Reset to April 9th, so today would have been the reset. Which one? The Amerisave mortgage? I had a note from last week in there. So they got a default. Yeah, thank you. Can someone contact the attorney? Even if, no, I told him he was gonna call. I told him that we reset it, because.
no, I'm trying to think who it was.
Oh, I don't know, if they should have filed an appearance. Somebody that was gone, I don't know who it is. It doesn't have their attorney information in it.
Yeah.
Oh, look at AJ. 1 week late. I did my class from here because I didn't want to do screening. Oh my goodness. It's not in the docket. No. Can you tell me what happened with this file? 5-01528. It's in on base as my supposed to be on for today at 8:30. I don't see it on here. At 8:30. Oh, thanks. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you have any questions for the court today, ma'am? No. Okay, you're all set. You can get her a copy of this. Are you ready, sir?
Yes, Judge.
On the record in Highlands Cooperative versus Tenant, Dugan and Morgan Musa. Musser? Okay.
We're on the wrong side. Once again, Your Honor, my name is Ed Mall, MAHL.
And then Mr. Musser, correct?
Correct.
Okay, today was the date scheduled for hearing on this matter. Did you all come to a resolution at this time?
No.
so this is for an eviction for non-payment of rent, correct?
Correct.
Okay, do you have a lawful reason whereby you are withholding rent?
No, I was in court with my uncle who was trying to evict me all the way up until just a couple weeks ago.
Your uncle was trying to evict you from this property, you're saying?
Yes, yes.
Okay,
And he didn't have rightful ownership of that. And they're trying to charge me for rent while that was going on. So
rent while what was going on?
while I was in court with my uncle over an eviction. So I was
You've
trying
been living in this property for how long?
I've been living there for almost 10 years.
Okay, and so what are you saying the past due rent amount is? Council?
As of today, the total is $3,796.
He's on a lease, or there's some contract about how much he's supposed to be paying?
This is not a normal landlord-tenant situation. This is a cooperative apartment. And the owner of the person who was the member of the cooperative was Jeanette Dugan, who is a deceased person. She died in September, I believe, of last year. This gentleman is a grandson or a nephew? Grandson. He's been living there, but he's not a member, so he does not really have a right to be there at all.
What was the agreement for him to pay rent? Is what my question was. How much was did he have agreement to pay?
There was no agreement with him at all.
So
There's
why
no-
is this a
there's no
non-payment of
agreement.
rent and not termination of tenancy? So then this should have been termination of tenancy
He
then.
did send one, yes.
No, this is non-payment.
Yes, for non-payment.
No, it's supposed to be termination of tenancy, which is a different eviction.
It is a different eviction. That's the one the uncle filed, but we were accepting rent from him for a period of time.
Okay, so there was an agreement for him to pay rent of some sort. It could have been verbal.
Verbal.
There was well,
Sorry.
so he doesn't know. You don't know if there was an agreement for him to pay
There was
rent?
no written agreement for him to pay rent.
But
It was
council, you
allowed-
know that written agreements aren't the only agreement. If he had a talk with someone, you're gonna pay this amount per month, and that's what he's been doing. That's what I wanna know. What was the agreement and what amount was it?
All right, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Your name, ma'am?
Nanette Miller, I'm the property manager.
Okay,
He made 1 month, one payment after his grandmother died. His grandmother died in September. He made an
what
October
was the
payment,
agreement for the amount that he was supposed to pay?
$596
Per month?
per month,
Due when?
due on the first of the month.
First of the month, and this was to begin when?
It began October 1st.
Of 2024? Is that a yes?
Yeah, I'm sorry, yes.
Okay. Is that accurate?
Yes,
Okay, and so you said he made one payment?
One payment, and it wasn't even the total amount.
That was in October?
Yes,
How much did he pay in October?
he paid, in October, he made a payment of 520.
Is that accurate?
yes,
Okay, and no payment since then?
No,
Is that accurate?
yes.
So what's the problem?
Well, the problem is I was under the impression when I was to go pay the remaining balance for October and for November that, well, the office told me that it was paid for and to not worry about it. And I
Who's
asked
the
them,
office? Who told you that?
not Nanette, but the receptionist, I can't remember her name.
Well, it's
right now,
hearsay. Do
but
you have a witness here to tell you that, to prove that it was paid for?
No,
Any other proof that it was paid for?
Nope.
Okay. It wasn't paid for by you though, correct?
correct.
When were you served a notice to quit and vacate?
I was not.
You were not served with a notice to quit and
I
vacate?
was, no, I was served with the notice for the previous court date.
What previous court date?
The Zoom meeting on the dismissal for the case of my uncle was the 27th, and it was that following Wednesday. Was when our first court date for this case was.
I have here a demand for possession for non-payment of rent. It says it was signed on November 2024 by Nanette Miller. There's a certificate of service. It said it was sent to you first-class mail.
I did not receive it. I didn't sign for anything either.
Well, it's first-class mail, you wouldn't. Oh. Did you receive a return undeliverable?
No,
Okay, and so, then after that, there would have been a complaint that was filed. I see a complaint was filed, and it's dated February 2025. There was a second mailing that went from the court to you. So you did get notice and you did appear to the first court date. So other than the fact that someone who you don't know the name of and you have not subpoenaed here today to testify, told you that the rent was paid, what other reasons do you believe that you don't owe the $596 for each month plus the remaining balance from October?
Well, my vehicle was towed out of the parking lot and is still currently sitting in an impound because the plow truck driver was trying to come through and clear the parking lot. However, that should have been just a $50 fee, not just a whole impounding my car. And
I'm sorry, what does that have to do with this? I'm confused.
well, the value of the car is worth way more than what they're trying
Your
to
car
come through
was
for. So,
towed from where?
my parking lot,
The parking lot where this property is?
yes.
And why?
Their reasoning was because it was in the way of the plow truck driver.
Whose reasoning?
The
You received
officers.
notice about it being plowed? I mean, being moved for that reason?
I received a phone call that I missed, and when I contacted the office about my car being missing, they said that they towed it.
Okay, so the car was towed. Why didn't you go get it out of the impound?
I couldn't afford it. So I was unemployed at the time.
So how was that their problem?
I mean, it should have been a $50 fee instead of,
What should have been,
About
why should have been a
$1,000.
$50 fee?
that was the agreement in the lease.
Where's the lease?
They refused to give me a copy of the lease.
You signed one?
I was on the lease as an occupant.
Did you
yeah.
sign a lease?
Yes.
When?
This was last year, I want to say June.
You signed the lease last year in June, but then there wasn't an agreement for you to pay rent until October?
I was paying my grandmother for the rent, and my grandmother was one paying rent.
You signed the lease and then you paid your grandmother for the rent?
I was on the lease as an occupant. I wasn't, like, we were both,
So your grandmother was a leaseholder?
yes.
Was there a lease? Because she is named here.
Occupancy agreement.
was it occupancy?
Can I see it?
What he's speaking of is in June of last year, we do income reviews and he signed paperwork for his income review.
Let me see the agreement. So I can see why he thinks that it should have been $50.
I can tell you that.
You can.
The $50 is a fine that we find if you don't move your car out of the lot. However, he was told back when his grandmother died that he had to get a sticker put on his car back in October.
A
And he never.
sticker saying that he could park there?
Mhm,
Is that a
and
yes?
That's a yes, I'm sorry.
No problem.
Yes, and so then this didn't get towed till I believe February. And he still had never come up and got a sticker put on the vehicle.
I had applied for a sticker and they took my title to get a copy of the title, and that was the last I heard from the office. I checked back in, they said they didn't have a title. They didn't have any of my records
If you
showing
were,
that I owned the car.
so
but
occupants have to have a sticker.
Yes, they do.
If you've been an occupant since June, why didn't you have a sticker?
I don't have an excuse for that.
Thank you. How is this there? I don't see where it says that it's gonna cost you $50 to get your vehicle if it's towed. I don't see that. Where can I find that, sir?
I'm sure it's the $50 fee is what it should have been for the plow truck driver, not
It's $50 for the plow truck driver?
for, it's the fine that they issue when a car isn't moved for the plow truck driver if he's coming through Cruz.
That might be in the rules and regulations, Judge, and we don't have those with us.
Okay, I was
We're
gonna say, I don't
not
see
trying
that
to,
here.
we're not trying to recover $50 for that.
Well, he's trying to say he's trying to recover the cost of his vehicle because his car was towed. You don't have a basis to recover the cost of your vehicle because the car is towed. You may reasonably been able to pursue the cost of the impound fees if you can demonstrate to the court that your vehicle was unlawfully towed. But you're not demonstrating that right now. What you're demonstrating is that you had a duty and responsibility to get a sticker. And from what you're telling me, you've been a resident there for a long time and that you failed to do it. So so what else do you got as to why you haven't paid the rent? Because you definitely owe it.
Yes, I do owe I owe this month and last month.
And why don't
But
you
up
owe November, December, January, February?
That was because my uncle was trying to evict me from the property, and it was my understanding through verbally that my uncle was paying the rent for that property that he was trying to evict me to. Those were his
How
grounds
does
for
your uncle
trying
have anything to do with this? I'm confused. Or maybe you're the one that's confused. What does your uncle have to do with this? Is he
My
a
uncle
part of the
was
co-op?
assuming responsibility for the rent up until the case was dismissed on March 27th.
You mean assuming responsibility for what rent?
He was,
Does your uncle live here? In this?
no.
Okay, does he own this property?
No, as it turns out, no.
Oh, okay, and so, after your grandmother passed away, this is your grandmother's son?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, so you were giving your rent money or believing that your rent was supposed to be given to your uncle?
Correct.
Okay, well, then you need to sue him if he took your rent money. But that has nothing to do with this. Judgment in favor for the plaintiff for $3,796 plus court costs.
Thank you. Your Honor.
You have to pay that or vacate in 10 days.
Okay, thank you.
Judge, I also have a dismissal form as to Jeanette Dugan, so her name can be removed from the matter.
Thank you. Okay, so the total with court costs look like they're $225.43. It's $4,021.43. Your writ date is gonna be the 21st of April. So you'll pay that amount in full, or you'll have to vacate by then, okay? Get your copy of this in just a moment.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. Thank you. You're welcome. This says by hearing on there, correct? No.
Dismissal.
I don't think they need a copy of the dismissal.
Okay.
Thank you.
AJ, did you make it up yet?
I'm sorry.
Did we miss AJ?
No, he stopped and talked to Marquita.
Oh. Did you need something? Counsel? Lisa Milton?
Yes, Your Honor. I apologize. For some reason, my video is not operating. I don't know why. I'm here on the Joy Road investment versus Family Dollar Stores. We had submitted a stipulation order of dismissal this morning, but I hadn't seen it come through. So,
Okay, let me see. Okay, I see it's in here. I'll sign it now. You're all set.
okay, thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman.
Rutledge. And it's Clue.
Okay.
Hi,
they-
I'm
they
here.
work- They worked something out.
Yes.
Okay. 1 second. I think we're waiting for Mr. Clue.
Yes, he's actually speaking with another defendant for another
Okay,
case.
sounds good. Let's see.
Geisler is ready.
Who's ready?
Cruz versus White. They have to fill out.
On the record in the matter of Nestle Cruz versus Steve White, 25-01389, appearance, please.
Good afternoon, Judge Colin Geisler, P69024 on behalf of the plaintiff.
Your name?
Steve White.
Okay, today was the date scheduled for a hearing, and this is for non-payment of rent. Did you all work out an agreement on this?
We did, Judge. We're going to enter a conditional dismissal. We're going to change this to a termination case, and the defendants are going to vacate the home by May 1st, 2025. The box 4B, no issues in terms of rent at this point. I also explained to Mr. White his rights under the court rules, 3 business days to file a motion to set this aside. We have both of our signatures on the proposed conditional dismissal.
Okay, that's complete and accurate as to how you want to proceed, sir?
Yes, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Sorry.
Do you understand, sir, that you had the right to be represented by an attorney in this matter?
Yes, I do, ma'am.
You want to give that right to be represented by an attorney up?
Yep.
And you also have the right in this matter to proceed to a trial. You could have demanded a jury trial. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
You want to give that right up as well?
Yes,
Anyone threatening you to do that?
yes.
Who's threatening you?
No, I mean, nobody.
It sounds like she might be the one threatening you.
No, I'm sorry, nobody. Sorry.
Blink twice.
I'm sorry.
Okay, no problem. Any promises being made to you if you give up these rights? Okay, what's the promises? Any promises being made and you said yes, so what's the promise?
No, there's no promise.
Okay,
I'll be
thank
out by
you.
May 1st.
Very good. So
I'm sorry.
this matter will be dismissed today upon the condition that you vacate the property today. I'm sorry, the property listed no later than May 1st. And it says the case is modified to a termination. You have 3 business days from today's date. If once you leave here, you realize you misunderstand the rights that you have given up, you can return back and have this set aside. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Have any questions from the court? Any questions? Any additional matters, counsel?
Oh, thank you, Judge.
No problem. We'll get you a copy of your paperwork in just a moment. I'm assuming Mr. Krug is with Alvarado. Maybe. On the record in the matter of Christian Wabu versus Jacqueline Zeala. You come around this way, ma'am. 25-01455. Name, ma'am.
Jacqueline Zeala.
Mr. Wabu has failed to appear. My understanding is that he's having some car trouble. However, you've indicated that this property is red tagged.
Correct.
And you're not able to reside in the property.
Correct.
What are you seeking, ma'am?
Sorry.
What are you seeking? What is it that you want? Did you get yourself out of the property?
The stuff is covered in mold, so I left it in the house.
Okay, so you are seeking to counterclaim against him?
I'm seeking to drop this.
Well, it's gonna be dismissed because he failed to appear. But as it relates to your things, you're gonna have to file a separate claim, okay? If you want to pursue him for your things that are covered in mold. Otherwise, the eviction is dismissed because he failed to appear. You're all set.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. On the record in the matter of Stephen Robertson versus Katarina Smith, 25-01452. Appearance, please.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Norman Whitty, appearing on behalf of the plaintiff, Stephen Robertson.
Your name, ma'am?
Catarina Smith.
Okay, today was the date and the time set for a hearing for termination of tenancy. Did you all resolve this?
We did, Your Honor. Parties have agreed to a conditional dismissal in this matter. This is a termination case where the terms are very simple. The defendant shall vacate and turn in keys on or before April 21st, 2025. We did discuss that if she failed to do so, we would be able to give a judgment in the order of eviction without further notice of hearing. We went over her rights under MCR 4.201J, after which she signed a conditional dismissal, if I may approach.
Thank you. Okay, ma'am, didn't you tell me you only needed 3 days to get out of the property?
Yes, ma'am. I've been trying to move my stuff slowly but surely, but I'm almost done right now.
Okay, so there is an agreement for the matter to be dismissed upon the condition that you vacate and turn over the keys on or before April 21st, 2025.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and you understand turning over your keys and leaving a property in broom swept condition is all a part of how you vacate a property? Okay, you have the right to be represented by an attorney in this matter. Do you understand that, right?
Yes, ma'am.
You willing to waive it today? You also have the right to demand a jury trial. Did you want to waive your jury trial?
Yes, ma'am.
Anyone threatening you to do that?
No.
Okay, you have 3 business days from today's date. If once you leave here, you realize you misunderstood your rights, you can return here and request to have this set aside. You'll have to explain how you misunderstood your rights, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Any questions?
No.
Any additional matters?
Nothing further for plaintiff, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you, you're all set.
Thank you.
You're welcome. On the record in the matter of SK Lansing Limited versus Kelsey Alvarado, 25-01442. You can have a seat back there.
Judge, I don't know if you want to do this one at the end, because it's gonna be a full-blown hearing, or if you want to do it right now.
What I do is, is there another one here?
I have another consent order for conditional dismissal where I talked to her. She's supposed to be in Zoom. I talked to her in the room and she's.
Oh, I think that's Miss Rutledge.
Yes, I don't know if you want to get that done real quick.
Okay. Miss Rutledge, can you hear us? Miss Rutledge? I think that someone said she was in the hospital. Miss Rutledge, can you hear us? She's not responsive.
Okay.
I'm sorry,
I just got kicked out of Zoom.
you're on there. In my thing, it says you're on there. Maybe Zoom is having an issue. Maybe Zoom is having an issue. I don't know. Did you get kicked out?
No, I see she's in there too.
Yeah, I see she's in there. I don't know why.
Oh, now.
Oh, okay. Ms. Rutledge, can you hear us? Oh, we might be out.
I was gonna say mine's just dead.
That might be the issue.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Not that. I felt that one time.
Are you in or no?
No, I have to go.
Again.
Oh, it looks like we kicked Daddy out too. I'm gonna make you But I just noticed my picture's not up here, so I must be kicked out. I don't know what's going on. Are we frozen? I don't see you. I don't see Yolanda. I don't see you either. Miss Rutledge, can you hear us? Something's going on with the Zoom. Clearly. Because my picture should be right here. Let's go. Okay. Okay. The parties were not able to resolve this for termination of tenancy.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Thank you. You can call you can have a seat. You can call your witness.
Your Honor, I thought Carla Ringo.
Solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give us the truth and the whole truth under penalty of perjury. Yes. Thank you. You can have a seat.
Please state your full name for the record. And please spell your last name.
RINGO.
Can you please, please state your employment?
I work at Lansing Housing Commission. I'm the portfolio manager.
Are you familiar with the defendant?
Yes.
Can you please explain the relationship with SK Lansing and Lansing Housing Commission?
Lansing Housing Commission sold their homes to a private investor, which is SK Lansing. And I manage their properties.
One of the properties you manage is at Miss Alvarado's?
Yes, 908 Miller Road.
Did Miss Alvarado sign a lease with the Lansing Housing Commission?
Yes.
May I approach her?
Yes.
Can you please review the document? And actually, can I have that marked exhibit 1? Review exhibit 1. Okay, can you please describe to court what exhibit 1 is?
This is the Lansing Housing Commission lease, residential lease agreement.
And is it who signed that agreement?
Alvarado.
And can you describe the kind of housing that Miss Alvarado resides in?
Duplex. 2 bedrooms, 3 bedrooms.
is there other certain kind of regulations or is it low income housing?
Yeah, there is no income housing. We provide, HUD provides part of her rent. So we pay the actual voucher is on the house. And then there's, whatever she has to pay, it's a different amount. I believe she's at a zero income right now, because she lost her job.
Is there certain requirements, annual requirements she has to comply with in order to reside at the residence?
Every year you have to get certified that you meet the standards of HUD.
Is that stated in the lease agreement?
Yes.
Could turn to page 6, paragraph 7C. All right, paragraph C on page 6.
Determination of rent, dwelling size, and eligibility. Rent amount as fixed in part 1 of the lease agreement is due each month until charges as described below.
Subsection 1 of this paragraph.
The status of each family is to be redetermined at least once a year. The tenants paying flat rent shall have their incomes re-examined every 3 years at the annual recertification.
Did Ms. Alvarado comply with that provision of the lease?
No, she did not.
Can you please describe the court how she breached that?
She didn't bring in all her information to get her certified, which was back sometime last year, I would say maybe September. August or September, and then we canceled her in September 30th, 24.
You said canceled when? September 30th?
It was 9/30/24.
Okay.
You can say we canceled the Lansing Housing Commission or the HUD canceled?
Lansing Housing Commission canceled her.
May I approach you?
Yes. And you need to get
Yeah.
by her.
All right, can I get exhibit 2? Mr. Ringo, is exhibit 1, is that a true and accurate copy of the defendant's lease at issue?
Yes.
Okay. At this time, I'd like to have exhibit 1 admitted into evidence.
Any objection?
I do have one question, because I know that I did sign a lease way later at this date, and this is the very first lease that I signed. I just kind of want to I don't personally have the copy of the most recent one that I signed.
When did you sign the most recent one?
After I got incarcerated, I believe they asked me to get, recertified.
So in the last year?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
And
I
your
kind of want to
question
see
is-
the copy of that.
Your question is, do they have an updated lease?
Yes.
Okay. Did you bring an updated lease at all?
I'll have to check in my office if she has a.
I know that I've signed plenty of them since 2019.
Okay. Because does she need to sign a new lease yearly?
This lease goes month to month, but when SK bought the house, then they started having another lease. And I'm not sure if she would, I've only been with the company a year and a half.
Okay.
And ever since I've been here, I believe she's been in court. So they may not have had her sign a new lease because of it.
I know that I did sign
Okay, so
something,
we
sorry
have,
to interrupt.
no worries. So we understand there's a potential that you may have signed another lease.
Yes.
But I don't believe they have it here today. But as to that being the original lease that you signed.
Yeah, it's the same, lease and
Okay.
everything. I just wanted a more updated one.
Okay, very good. So, no objection, that's a minute.
Mr. Ringo, regarding the lease, if there was an updated lease that the defendant signed, would those provisions and terms pertaining to the defendant having to annually recertify, would those change?
Yeah, those lease in the next lease, and
So-
every lease.
So that would change, it would not be, that would,
It would be the same.
so annually she's required to recertify pursuant to HUD's requirements.
Yes.
All right, exhibit 2 that you have, if you could Please review exhibit 2 and describe that for the court.
This is a tenant notification of termination of program assistance. This is sent from your caseworker. I'm the property manager. And so it's sent to me as well. This is stating that they will terminate her contract effective November 14th because she failed to provide the documents that were requested by mail on September 9th, September 18th, and October 2nd to complete her annual recertification. The documents were due back September 20th of 24, October 3rd of 24, and then of November 4th of 24.
If you could, the very last page of exhibit 2, it says there's a, can you refer that to, it says final request, October 2nd, 2024.
Yeah, October 2nd. You failed to respond to the previous request for the following information. Please provide the following documents within 3 days. Please submit a bank statement with your cash app and pay stubs from Trust Herb showing the gross amount you paid. Failure to comply with our request for this information could result in the termination of your housing assistance and failure to cooperate. And that's dated October 2nd.
And is this the notice that was provided to the defendant for her, the documents required for recertification?
Yes.
Would like to have exhibit 2 put into evidence.
Any objection as to exhibit 2?
With the dates on this, I'm not really sure on the top of my head, like what dates or like the time frame, but I know that I did physically in person, you know, like I was working a lot at like this time before I lost my job, and I would only have like Fridays off and stuff, but the office would be physically closed. But I know on some days off that I did try physically going there in person and talking to someone about it and reaching out on phone calls. And I really didn't get any communication back or phone calls back. It was very hard to get a hold of people and I was verbally telling them that with the Cash App statements, I'll get on that. The objection that I really have about that is that at Trusted Herb Care, I had a boss that wouldn't really provide me the legal documents that I needed for the information that they needed. I tried to screenshot Cash App like payments that came on there from Trusted Herb Care, and it said Trusted Herb Care on there. And I provided that information for them, and I also received emails stating that Trusted Herb Care has, you know, you deposited this amount into your account, and I tried to provide that, and they said that it wasn't enough as well, but I at least tried, considering that my boss wouldn't provide the legal documents that I needed to provide that information for them. So on my boss's part, I feel like that's kind of illegal, and I really had no control over that.
Okay, so I'll note your objection. However, the document is admitted.
Thank you, Judge. And then, Mr. Ringo, on the very last page, there is exhibit 2. Is that the copy of letter from September 18th, 2024 that's referenced on page 1?
Yes.
Okay. And again,
Sorry, I have that.
okay. And again, the September 18th letter states specific documents required for the recertification, right?
Yes.
Has the defendant complied with any of the notice requirements to provide the required documents for annual recertification?
No, it's not completed.
Okay. And has the defendant been terminated from the rental assistance program?
Yes.
And to your knowledge, when was she terminated?
September 30th, 24.
And then on, if you could, on exhibit 1, the lease on page 16. Under Article 14, paragraph, Article 14, titled paragraph, titled termination of lease, and paragraph 4, if you could read that.
Failure to supply in a timely fashion any certification, release, information, or documentation on family income or composition needed to process annual re-examinations or interims redeterminations. So this is just telling you that this is the reasons why you could be terminated. At least can be terminated.
I believe I have that with this document.
I'm showing it's been marked as exhibit 3. Can you please describe that to the court?
This is a notice to quit to recover possession of property,
The reason for the notice to quit is
breach, lease, failure to recertify.
this, I would like to admit exhibit 3 in evidence.
Any objection to exhibit 3? Exhibit 3.
I'm sure, I'm not sure, like, this is my first time representing myself or anything, with any, like, documents, how he's submitting, if I have any, am I doing that?
No,
Can I
you'll
do
have,
that
when
now?
he's done, you'll do it
Okay,
next, okay?
okay.
So I just wanna know if you're objecting to the document he's trying to admit.
Besides my boss not providing the legal documents for the trusted herb care part, the Cash App, bank statements, I do have that information with me today, but
Okay, so I'm noting the objections, they're not actually objections,
No.
but I'm noting because it sounds like these are your defenses.
Yes.
Okay, so then it's admitted,
I think, yeah.
thank you.
Mr. Ringo, is the plaintiff asking for judgment to be entered in his favor and to have the lease terminated? Yes. Further questions? Yeah.
Do you have any questions for this witness? Do you have any questions?
No.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Ringo.
I have no further witnesses.
No other witnesses, okay, thank you. Okay, and did you intend to call witnesses or give testimony?
I kind of have my own testimony.
Raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give us the truth and the whole truth under penalty of perjury?
Yes.
Thank you. You can have a seat there, and then you can give me your reasons or lawful defense as to why you should not be terminated.
Well, first and foremost, I got this in the mail, received from Carla, who was just up on the stand. And first and foremost, I want to say that I did try to communicate verbally and call over the phone. I tried to go in person multiple times, but like I said, Fridays, their office isn't open, so it's hard for me to go in person.
Why is it hard for you to go in person?
Because when I was working at the time, when I was trying around the time that they're saying that I needed to provide my documents back in September. I remember I was working a lot and I only had Fridays off, so it was hard for me to go in person. And with the hours, their office wasn't open by the time I got out.
But you were working until when, ma'am?
I don't know the exact month on the top of my head, but I know that it was by the end of the year, close to the end of the year.
Close to the end of the year. I know there was a period that you were incarcerated. When did you get out of
I
incarceration?
got out June 4th, and I know that I did.
So you worked until the end of the year?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was incarcerated and I do remember going to court for this situation while I was in there. And I was in a domestic violence relationship, like when I was incarcerated, one of my boyfriends was staying there the whole time that I, was there. And he kind of, I'm not with him anymore. But he kind of I came home and my house was not the way I left it, so it's just been hard for me to get back on track since I got out, but I definitely got, I'm satisfied with where I am right now, financially, and with the way the house looks now. I'm human, I go through things, and I'm a single mom, sorry, I'm not trying to be emotional or anything, but so first and foremost, I just want to say that honestly, I can't really afford to lose my house or anything like that, but I know that might be too late. But I just wanted to kind of prove my point and prove that I'm trying, so and I'm not being represented, I'm representing myself. I got denied for legal services and everything, so This is my first time doing this and I'm gonna be strong about it. I know that you're familiar with me being incarcerated, you don't want anything like that, but okay.
Okay, well, let me just,
Alright.
so just to be clear, so the basis for the termination is because she failed to recertify?
Yes, Judge.
Okay.
Okay, but, okay, so the first part that I want to say with the recertifying part, with the document that I was unable to provide for trusted or repair my job, which was my income.
You were unable to provide, you said what? A
The
document?
income that they needed, the
Income
statement.
verification?
Yes. I was trying to get my boss to do it, but she wasn't communicating with me, wasn't, I'm not even sure like how to do that or if I can take her to court for not giving me the legal
What
documents.
do you mean that she was not communicating with you?
Like I would reach out to her on text messages, calling, emails. I got the house very clean today. I've been busy. I went to library, printed off a bunch of stuff, but there was a couple things that I know at the top of my head that I forgot, but I wanted to get to the text messages and the emails and me reaching out, but that's just something I didn't print off. But
So verification of your income, why did you not have, you don't have any pay stubs, you don't have
I worked a
W-2s?
contractor job, so I got 1099. So I wasn't getting paycheck stubs. I remember when I first started working there, they used, and I believe it's called iSolved. It's a payroll service, and I could get my paycheck stubs on there around the time, but this was way prior to this. But it started to where like she would just send me emails that says trusted or care. And I don't know if I can bring one up on my phone just to show you an
Trusted Herb
example.
Care, and it would tell you how much you got paid,
Yes,
and that didn't satisfy?
no.
Okay, so what is it that she needed to provide?
Her caseworker said she had to provide proof that she was no longer working. I think that's how it started.
Okay, so the verification issue was proof of unemployment, but it sounds like she was employed in September or during this time.
I'm trying, because I did fill out, Your Honor, not to confirm, I'm sorry. But I did fill out a zero income sheet and I turned it in, but I don't have a copy of that.
But you said you were working during that time.
Yes, but I ended up not working there anymore. I ended up quitting actually because she wouldn't provide me the information and the environment at work was getting kind of toxic, so I left.
But you told me you didn't do that till the end of the year, but they're saying you were terminated in September.
I recall getting a letter stating that my HUD and my payments, in which I have a receipt right here that says it stopped in December.
Did I have something not inaccurate?
Not her employment, it was that she was terminated from the assistance program because she didn't file her recertification document. So that she was removed at the end of September, but she was supposed to require them to get the documentation. And we never got anything that showed the gross amount of pay. So.
Okay, well, that's what I said. She got terminated from the.
I thought you said employment.
If I said employment, I meant the payment for her because she had not paid or provided proof of her income. And she's telling me she was working during that time. So I'm trying to understand, what was she supposed to provide if she's a 1099? Was it supposed to be tax returns? What is she supposed to provide as evidence of her employment?
I have it right here. It says remove job.
She was paying rent back in October
What was she supposed to provide though as proof of
of
employment?
her not work. So for us to put her at a zero income, because her rent kept going on. We were in court while she was doing this. She was paying the $300.
Zero.
That payment came in October 7th.
When did she put in for a zero income?
It had been before then.
Before
I'm just
what?
looking at a ledger trying to.
Before September, you're saying?
Mhm.
Okay, so you put in for a zero income before September, but you were still working. Is that true, Ms. Alvarado?
I couldn't have turned it in at that August.
Okay, do you have evidence of when she put in? And you
I don't have
have
that
not
document.
published any of your exhibits to me? Yes. You have proof of that when she turned in for zero income? Thank you.
Your Honor, may I speak?
Yes, you have something to say?
Yeah, I know that when I was incarcerated, we did afterwards, when I did get out, I recall, us being on a payment plan. And I don't know if that might, I don't know, I'm kind of confused because I know that I didn't actually lose my job until around the end of the year, because I remember it was really hard for me around my daughter's birthday and Christmas. And I did get one of my last paychecks
Okay, let me
around,
have you stop because I'm waiting for proof of when,
sorry.
for them to tell me proof
Yeah,
of when you
I'm
put
just
in for a
like-
zero income.
Okay.
Is Kendra your boss?
I'm sorry,
Sorry,
what?
can you-
No, you don't have to answer that question. Yes.
With the defendant's annual recertification, she was terminated for not providing the pay stub and showing her income to properly calculate whether or not she has to pay rent or she's zero renter. So she was terminated from the program at the end of September. She may have been employed at that time, and I think that's the defendant's testifying to.
She was terminated at the end of September. But then she's getting a letter in October for a request for documents.
That's correct. She would still have they still give her time to catch up and get the documents. If you look at the October, I believe says final request October 2nd. And then October 14th, the very first page of Exhibit 2 is the October 14th termination notice letter. So
Okay, I see here specifically, you have failed to provide the documents which were requested by mail on September 9th, 2024, September 18th, 2024, and October 2nd, 2024 to complete your annual recertification. I don't see a copy of that letter, but I do see October 2nd. It says that she was supposed to submit bank statements in your Cash App and pay stubs from Trusted Herb showing gross amount you were paid. You have a bank account?
I do have a bank.
Why didn't you turn over your bank statements?
The bank statements on Cash App, I recall that around that time my card was stolen in my wallet, so I wasn't able to get into my Cash App. And I did get a new card and everything, and I did end up printing them off. I know that it's not at a good timely manner, but with
You
the
said your card was stolen. So you're saying you don't have a bank, you have a Cash App?
Yeah, I do have a bank and I have a Cash App.
Well, okay, why didn't you provide bank statements from your bank account?
They asked for the ones from Cash App. I don't have anything.
Okay.
I don't have anything in my other bank.
Okay, even if you say your card was stolen?
Yeah.
What does that have to do with you logging into Cash App and printing your statements?
I'm not sure, but the bank statements on Cash App, I screenshotted them and sent them to them from Trusted Herb Care for my documents, and that wasn't enough for them.
You screenshotted your Cash App statements to them?
Yes.
When?
I'm not really sure the dates, you know.
How did you send it to them?
An email.
Can you go on your email and see when you sent it to them?
Yeah, I didn't even check.
Don't know.
It says that on 9/26/2024, I did provide bank statements of screenshots on my Cash App.
9/26.
9/26, yes.
Who did you send them to?
I sent them to Precise at Lansing Housing Commission.
Okay, and those bank statements or those screenshots were not sufficient?
And then also, Your
Let
Honor,
me have her answer that.
Is this what you're talking about from Trusted Herb? Bank statements.
Saying that she
She
sent
said she sent
cash
Cash App.
Cash App statement on September 26th.
You have it pulled up on your phone?
Yes.
Can you get that, please? You show him.
Says paycheck. So, yeah.
Okay, let me see what she has there. Provide to me. I see statements attached to. Your Honor. Thank you. Why were those not sufficient?
Exhibit 2, on the back page, the October 2nd and September 18th, the very last one, it says it needs the gross amount that she's paid, not the net, because they need to determine what her annual income is based off of her rent, off her income, to determine her monthly income amounts.
She's a contractor. Why would that not be her gross?
That's stated paycheck on the document she pulled up. I don't know if
That what I just saw was a list of Cash Apps and a statement on there.
I mean, that's. Looked like there were some payments, yeah, that were on there for a couple of periods. I don't know if that's my client that's satisfied with why it's in it, but.
Well, your client didn't even, it doesn't sound like they even acknowledge receipt of it.
It doesn't go to me. It goes to a caseworker.
So she sent it to the caseworker.
See it in the files.
That would not be Miss Alvarado's mistake, though. And then I know they were looking for pay stubs from a Trusted Herb, but if she's paid by Cash App, why would she have pay stubs? Case dismissed. You're all set.
Yeah, I may ask you a question.
You can.
What happens after?
So you need to go and figure out what happens from here. They've not been able to satisfy. It doesn't mean they can't refile it against you if they find the information, but if they have received the Cash App statements from you, which you showed in your email that I just looked at, and statements from Cash App, and you are a contractor, it's very common. I deal with people who have contract employees all the time, and they pay them through Cash App. And so why would she have a statement from them? She can't get a statement. So that may be why, I don't know why your boss didn't respond, but if you pay your person via Cash App all the time, you're not gonna get a statement. Or you're not gonna have a stub, that she doesn't work in that kind of a business. And so with that being said, then there should have been some further follow-up, I think, from whoever the caseworker was, and it doesn't even seem like the caseworker acknowledged receipt of that and turned that over to Ms. Ringo, who's here in court. So there's a breakdown on this end as it relates to that. And ideally, if you've not otherwise had some issues there, they should be trying to work with you to figure it out so that you can get recertified, because you sound like you turned over the information within the time frame that they allotted in that note, September 26th. So you're all set.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
My other matter, did she? Oh, right.
I don't know if she was having a Zoom issue because she never responded, and it keeps booting my staff out of Zoom. So I'm assuming it might be a Zoom issue. I know that she would call the court. She's in the hospital with her child. Did you all come to a resolution?
We did, so I don't know if I can submit it and then we can come back on Zoom and just put it on the record. Is
That's fine. What was it gonna be, a conditional dismissal?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, if you want to submit it, and then I'll reset it so that she can log in via Zoom. You can log in via Zoom and we can have it put on the record.
All right, appreciate it, Judge.
No problem.
Thank you. That should be it. Have a good rest of your day.
Same to you. Let's see, Stephanie Brown present,
Yes,
125 rentals.
yes.
Okay, 25-01454, appearance please.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Good afternoon, appearance.
Your Honor, on behalf of the plaintiff 125 Rentals LLC, my colleague Jacqueline Gordon is the counsel of record currently in this matter, but I am filling in on her behalf. I have prepared an appearance of counsel if the court would like me to file that today.
You can get that from her. And then, did you all come to a resolution on this at all?
Your Honor, we did discuss this with Ms. Brown in advance of the hearing this afternoon. It's my understanding she's not contesting that there was a notice to quit served, requesting that she leave the premises no later than, I believe it was February 16th, 2025. The reasons for the notice to quit was due to chronic late rent payments. I did confirm with her in the hallway. It's my understanding she has no dispute about the current amount due and owing under the lease, and that is why we issued the notice to quit. However, it's my understanding that she's not willing to enter into a consent judgment at this time, as she has no lease bill.
Do you have a lawful reason to hold over their property?
I just don't have any place to go, honestly.
I recognize that you probably don't have plans or another option, but you got to give me a lawful reason why you can hold their property. Otherwise, I have to go in their favor.
No, that is the only reason why I have.
Okay. Have you met with our eviction diversion facilitator downstairs? Okay, you should probably meet with them, or you can even reach out to the housing ombudsman who's on the 4th floor, Joseph McDonald, and maybe they can provide you some resource. But as to this eviction, judgment's in favor for the plaintiff.
Thank you, Your Honor. I have prepared a proposed judgment. May I approach?
Here, no problem.
did not leave, or I did not designate a date for under 4B. I believe it's typically 10 days under the statute.
It is, the date's the 21st, but I just wanted, was there a money judgment filed for in this matter?
Yes, Your Honor, we are also requesting a money judgment. The defendant was personally served with the summons and complaint on or about March 24th, 2025. I also have a company representative here today for the LLC if the court wishes to take testimony regarding.
I don't think she's disputing the amount. Oh, I just wanted to make sure on the complaint that there was a supplemental complaint in there. I see it here. Okay, okay, so judgment for possession. Yeah, oh, I forgot the date is the day after Easter. Let's see here. I'm going to move that to the 25th. Actually, 4/25. 25. You'll have until the 25th to vacate their property, okay? Money judgment will issue in the amount of $4,049.97 plus cost of $247.45 for a total of $4,297.42. And you can make arrangements with them personally, with the owner personally, as or property manager as to how you'll make payments on that. We'll get you a copy of that in just a moment. Any additional matters for the record?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Any questions? Okay, don't forget, you can still go speak with the Mr. Rosa or Mr. McDonald for assistance, okay? Thank you. And then we say we're gonna reset revelation.
The 23rd at
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a great rest of the day.
Same to you.